I'm bored, so back to the yapping. But Sonic the Hedgehog. Right now, we're talking about his gameplay. This is more of a if I was in charge of Sonic video, I guess. But listen, I think they should do this after Frontiers 2, specifically, because I know this sounds bad, but I don't think they should pursue this Frontiers formula after Frontiers 2. I think they should get their jitters out of Frontiers 2, and then after that, they need to like lock in, right? Because here's what I think they should do. I truly, wholeheartedly think that for the betterment of the series, they should really just put the classic games and make them 3D. Ignore how I said 3D. Ignore how I said that. But they obviously do not know what they're doing yet. So here's what I think they should do. Firstly, full HD remake of Sonic 3 Knuckles. This is way overdue. And I know you're kind of hot off the rocket with Origins, but I think it is kind of necessary for for what's gonna be needed to make this game. Then after that, full HD. This is way overdue, but full HD remakes of SA1 and SA2 in one obviously compiled game. Now, after that, they should have an idea of how to make a good classic Sonic game and a good adventure style game. After that, I think they should just make a 3D a 3D classic Sonic game, essentially. When I say 3D classic Sonic game, I don't mean a 3D Sonic game with classic Sonic. No, I think we should kill classic Sonic. But essentially, just make a 3D Sonic game that has the classic, or I guess I should say, the traditional, the best, the definitive Sonic gameplay. So basically, since it's 3D, classic Sonic gameplay is normally you have different routes to the game. The upper route, which is kind of easy to get to, and it's more of a straight. It's less bumpy and more of a straight line. However, it's hard to stay on. The middle line, which is it's the middle. So it's the middle, and it's also the medium, and then the lower one, which is the easy to get into, but also difficult. Not difficult, but it has a lot of enemy spikes, and it's just overall hard to traverse. So just do that, but basically. In the classic Sonic, there are alternate paths because 2-dimensional. But in this 3-dimensional game, there would essentially be layers, right? And within the layers, from medium to high to low, obviously like in classic Sonic, sometimes there will only be like a high route and a high layer and a low layer. Sometimes just be a medium layer and a high layer, or a medium layer and a low layer. Sometimes, but so basically in the layers, literally just do Sonic Adventure level design. So in each layer, there can be alternate routes in the layers, and just do that. It's literally just do that, and then you kind of got gold if you're cooking, which they have proven to be able to make phenomenal games again with Shadow iterations. So if they just lock in to the level design of Sonic Adventure, and specifically Adventure 1, because Adventure 2 is a little bit linear and it's kind of mid. So it's not mid, but it's just linear, and I prefer open, which in classic Sonic prefers open. So if you do that, I think you can have a golden game on your hands, best on the game. But as per level length, I would say about 5 minutes and 45. It really just depends on how much levels you have. But let's say you have, how much levels is Sonic Adventure I have again? Adventure 1 had 6 levels. So if this game hypothetically speaking, how much levels? Okay, I don't know what the average level of Sonic game is, If hypothetically speaking, this game has 6 levels, make each level like 5 minutes and like 30 seconds. And what I think you should do is 2 acts, right? The acts, first of all, 2D is dead, obviously, dead and buried. So 2 3D acts, and the third act should be a boss fight. And now, I have heard criticism of Sonic having boss fights, and just Sonic's boss fights in general, and how they're terrible. Which I think you're kind of overreacting, but sure, let's say they're terrible. Actually, you kind of did it. They aren't that good, but yeah, I don't think they're that bad. But the point is, what if, hypothetically speaking, since the game would be adventure style, you made the boss fights essentially just boost levels, but you have to essentially just boost levels, but you're chasing the boss, and the boss is like putting in enemies. So that would be a good. So Act 2 would be adventure controls. Both acts would be adventure controls, and then the boss fight would be a boost level, but it's essentially boost level, but like each time you get to when you had like it's basically like a race. So essentially like a race, like in Tails' gameplay, but like but you have like 3 hits on the boss, right? So when you get to a certain, basically a boost level, and the enemies like spawning like what's it called? Like the boss is spawning enemies. Boost level. When you get to a certain point, you hit him. When you go to a different area-ish, like when I say area, I mean like how Windy Valley goes from the place. I don't know what it's called, the grassy area to the tornado. That's what I mean by area. And then you do another little chase, and you hit him again, and then you do the final one, and then you hit him, and then you beat. I would prefer if these more resembled a if these were more like the Sonic PO6 Mach Speed sections rather than the boost, because even though obviously I haven't played Sonic PO6, the Mach Speed sections actually look like godly, like they look extremely fun. So I would prefer if they were more like that. But yeah, and if you do that, you got something golden in your hands. Or ooh, wait, let me cook. Okay, so you make Act 3, which would be the boss fight, the Sonic PO6 sections, and then you make the special stages, because come on, we gotta have special stages. You make the special stages boost levels. You know, and then obviously you'd have supersonic and normal levels, and I said preferably, like this is not happening, but you know, hypersonic would be nice. It's not happening, but it would be nice. And no, do not make this game adventure free. Adventure free should be an adventure level. It should be an adventure game, not a 3D classic Sonic game. I have to think of a better name for that, because when I say 3D classic Sonic, it sounds like a 3D classic Sonic game, but it's just a modern Sonic game, but it's just the classic Sonic gameplay translated into 3D. Yeah, I think they should do that, because really, even though the levels would be like huge with like over different layers and the game design and each layer having alternate paths and each layer being an alternate path, I think, I feel like it will take like because like I'm pretty sure after the success of Frontiers, Sega gave Sonic Team like more staff and stuff. I think for the amount of time it took to make Cronus Island, it should be to take that time should take the amount of time it took to make Cronus Island could or should be equivalent to the amount of time it makes to take 2 acts of these giant levels. So yeah, I don't know how long it took to make Cronus Island, but it's presumably a while. I mean, I don't mind waiting 3 years for like each Sonic game with like that quality. But yeah, not much else to say about it. You know, it'd be really cool though, if like we can like reuse. So I really like I like the music of Sonic Extreme. I also like the levels, like the level aesthetics from Sonic Extreme. Like the concept art of Blue Ocean looks like heavenly, and the desert ice place, I don't know what it's called, but that place looks very interesting. A little bit out of place in a modern Sonic game, but I definitely think Blue Ocean look cool. And okay, Jade Gully would be way out of place, but just Jade Gully looks very interesting, despite being Green Hill Zone clone. And Galaxy Fortress looks awesome. I don't know why, but something about the name Galaxy Fortress and like the purple and gray color scheme, it goes hard. If you can reuse some of that, that would be kind of cool though. My personally, if like gun to my head, Ocean. It's not called Ocean. Did I say Ocean Palace? It's not called Ocean Palace. It's called Blue Ocean. Personally, I'd have Blue Ocean, reuse Blue Ocean, and Galaxy Fortress. Yeah, adios.